Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well and welcome to what is almost certainly the biggest war game we've run so far. Several months ago you requested a simulation to see whether Chinese Eastern forces could take on Japan. I've been putting this off for a long time because it's extremely difficult to do this kind of thing. Lots of setup, lots of stress. It gives me grey hairs. But as well as that, on the face of it, it didn't really pass the mustard test. To me, I just don't think the Chinese forces were strong enough, bearing in mind that they're not just facing the Japanese indigenous forces, which are very strong, but also, importantly, America permanently stations massive naval and air force forces in this area. But I refuse to give up, and here we are, we're going to run it. So to do this, I needed to enlist the help of my friend Combat Ineffective, and I'll put his link in the video description if you want to check him out. I asked for two things. Firstly, I need some semi-believable roleplay for us to be able to remove all US forces from the battle. This will give China a chance and allows us to run a battle. As well as that, I needed the basic research doing. So the first thing Combat Ineffective has done is taken a massive Chinese Navy force and completely blockaded Taiwan. US has no choice but to respond with the 7th Fleet. So the US respond by sending the US 7th Fleet from around here, all of her naval assets and all of her aerial assets, as well as half of the Marine Corps. They sail 1,200 miles down to Taiwan for that standoff. Next, the American fighter assets need removing from Okinawa here. To do that, China have used an air wing from the Fuzhou area, which is around there, to engage and harass the American fighter air wing at Okinawa. That ties that air wing up, which leaves the Americans still on the mainland of the USAF F-16s and the other half of the US Marine Corps. To tie them up, Xi has convinced the leader of North Korea to mobilize their army on the demilitarized zone here, causing a flashpoint. America has responded by sending the remainder of her Air Force and US Marine Corps from the mainland to the north of South Korea. So what that's done is removed all immediate US assets from and around Japan. Japan now just has her indigenous defense, giving China the best chance of a surprise attack. The Chinese East Theatre Command bases near Shanghai are closest to the southwestmost point of Japan, with over 130 aircraft, including J-20s, J-16s, J-11s, J-7s and H-6K bombers, and this is what they'll use in the attack. So East Theatre Command will operate from and around Shanghai here, the closest point to Kyushu Island off the mainland here of Japan, which today will be the target. East Theatre Command consists of 7th and 78th Brigade with 40 J-16s, 8th and 9th Brigade with 40 J-20s, the 95th with J-11Bs, 24 of them, 83rd with JH-7As, 24 of them. He's put a note that without air-to-air refuelling, which they won't have today, it won't make it to Japan and back. Well, that's a them problem. Also, the 10th Bomber Division with H-6s, 24 of them. That will constitute today's surprise attack. It's important to recognise, of course, that the Chinese Air Force is much bigger than this, but it operates in the theatre commands, and it's unlikely that other theatre commands would be involved in this attack. Next, the Japanese defence. I asked Combat Ineffective to give me the defence in terms of aircraft, SAMs and Navy, which would likely be within response ranges to a surprise attack. You know, I'm not interested in aircraft stationed 2,000 miles away. And this is what he's given me. So, in terms of the JASDF, we have first on Kyushu Island, so that's this one here, the target island, the Suki Airfield with the 8th Tactical Fighter Wing, 2 squadrons of Mitsubishi F-2s, total 40 aircraft. He notes also that this airbase has what appears to be PAC-3 Patriot or Type 03 SAM with 6 launchers. Also on the island is Nyataburu Airbase, where the 305th Tactical Fighter Squadron mixing 20 F-15Js and 20 new F-35Bs. Of course, F-35Bs are being pressed into service with the Japanese, including their Navy, but numbers are still extremely small at the moment, and naval, they're converting two LHGs to be F-35 aircraft carriers, but I've double-checked and they're not in service until the end of this year. Meaning this is a good time for China to strike. Next is Honshu Island, which is this guy here. We have Komatsu Airport, consisting 6th Air Wing, 2 squadrons, 40 F-15Js. Note, this is 400 kilometers away from the target island. All distances will be fully modelled today and will be critical to the outcome. On the same island, we have Hayakuri Air Base, 3rd Tactical Fighter Squadron, 20 Mitsubishi F2, 600 kilometers away. And finally, Hamamatsu Air Base, not as much relevance, but the 602nd Squadron, which is going to be their E-767 AWACSs. Finally, Okinawa Island, to the south 400 miles. Naha Air Base, 9th Air Wing, 2 squadrons. Total 40 F-15Js, that's 800 kilometers away. Also, they have an E-2C squadron. Note, this is not the entire Air Force for the keen-eyed amongst you. This is about 65%. The other 35% is in positions that are deemed not within reaction time of today. Finally, the JMSDF. Again, I asked Combat Ineffective for not their entire Navy. I don't want their entire Navy. That's not realistic. I want what he thought would be within the catchment area of the battle. Stuff 200 miles away, I'm not interested in. The way he's done that is he's given me the Sasebo flotilla. Sasebo is today's target, it just so happens. So this is the flotilla stationed to protect that area. It consists roughly of about 1/5 of their entire navy. The navy, out of interest, is actually pretty strong for a relatively small country. I'm pretty impressed by it. So we need to understand a bit about their navy. In total, they have 8 modern DDGs, guided destroyers, which are Aegis capable. The Congo class and the Otago class here are 2 of 3 subclasses of those 8 DDGs. Think of them as very similar to American Arleigh Burkes. The subclasses roughly simulate America's Flight 2, Flight 2A and Flight 3 Arleigh Burkes. Of the 8 that Japan has in the Sasebo flotilla are 1 Congo class and 1 Otago class. These are all equipped with SM2 ERs, or I thought it was actually MRs when I was reading, but it doesn't really matter for today. They also have SM3 for anti-ballistic. They also have RIM 162 EESSM in similar loadout quantities to Arleigh Burke. So that's the cream of the Japanese surface fleet. Next, we move on to destroyers, so DDs. These are not Aegis destroyers, they're much older, less capable. They do still have guided missiles, but not to the extent of the Congo and Otago DDGs. The Japanese Navy has a vast reserve of these DDs, nearly 30 of them. Today, we're going to be using 5, which are in this fleet. The first 2 are the most modern of them that are in the Sasebo flotilla. That's 1 Akazuki DD and 1 Asashi DD. Each equipped with weapons of interest, weapons of consequence, shall we say, up to 40 RIM 162 ESSMs. Older DDs that they have in the flotilla are 2 Takanami class and 1 Murasaki class DD. These don't have the ESSMs, but they do have independent RIM 7M Sea Sparrow launchers, and so that's how we're going to model it. I'm going through all this detail because this is how I'm going to model all of these ships. As well as that, the flotilla consists of 1 FFM, that's a multi-purpose frigate mine-laying vessel, Mogami class, equipped with Chu-Sam surface-to-air. So, to reiterate, it's about 1/5 or slightly less of the entire Navy and about 1/4 of their Aegis-equipped ships. The rest can be considered in other seas or out of the catchment area of this battle, out of the response time. I've not included submarines because, as you know, at the moment we can't use submarines on a tactical basis in any size. And that's the extent of Combat Effective's work. Thank you very much. I'm pretty happy with it. It was my job next to put it all together. So here we are. First thing I had to do was create the geography, which we do not have this area in DCS. So I've made it out of Guam. I've got Guam Island down there. The rest is going to be sea, but that doesn't really matter. You can see the outlines of the countries in green. We have South Korea here, DMZ, North Korea. We have just a slither I could fit on of China here, and here is the Shanghai harbour area from where the attack will be. Here we have the target island, the southwest area of Japan, and then the other islands that make up the mainland. Now, it may look a bit funny, but it is actually to scale. If you measure everything out, everything here is to scale, which is what's important. In terms of scale, I've used the entire map available, so if I try and move left and right, I can't because I've used the entire map, which happens to be 1,000 miles east to west, 850 nautical miles. Hence me saying at the beginning of the video, it's the biggest battle we've done so far. It's as big as I can make the battle, basically, and I've gone up to the top of North Korea. A bit more reference, Shanghai here, Seoul here, the capital of South Korea. This is the East China Sea. We have here Kumamoto, we have Hiroshima, we have Okayama, Osaka, Kyoto, Shiga, Nagoya, and those are the main towns that I've put in. The airfields, which have been identified by Combat Ineffective, I've also added in. In fact, I better show the target first. This is the target. It's Sasebo. In fact, we'll come back to it. Next are going to be the airfields. 4 of them are JSDF. 1 is civilian semi-JSDF. So we have Suki Air Force Base here. The one I can never pronounce, Nyotaburu base here. We have half civilian, half military base here, Komatsu. We have here, I know it's kind of hard to see, but we have Hayakuru. And we have the AWACS base here, that's Hamamatsu. Again, all to scale. In fact, this one is actually a few tens of miles off the screen, so I've had to put it there, but it's going to be near enough for today. Target for today, you know, I have to choose a target. Obviously, it has to be on the bit of terrain that I've modelled, which is going to be Guam here, which is going to be, we've chosen Sasebo Port. It's a massive military port on the southwestern tip of Japan, and it sounds a perfectly good target. A lot of damage could be done to it and its surrounding defences. In terms of its defence today, we'll come back to that. And in terms of what China are going to achieve, well, I don't know. You can let me know. I don't see any point at all of them doing an invasion force, and it wouldn't be sustainable anyway, so I guess it's just a first strike. Unit overview next. First, let's look at the JASDF and the JMSDF. These are Japan's indigenous forces, and as I said, all Americans have been removed from the board. They're fighting another conflict at the moment. Included are 60 Mitsubishi F2s, 60 F-15Js, 20 F-35Bs, radar cross-section 0.002 square meters. They can be shot at about 20 miles. 4 E-76 AEW. In terms of the Navy, as we said, 2 Kongo Otago DDGs, Aegis equipped. 2 Akazuki Asashi DDs, 3 Takanami Murasaki DDs, and 1 Megami FFM. In terms of SAMs, well, I've only modelled a tiny bit of land, so I can only put 2 of the SAMs on, which are 2 Patriot PAC-3s defending Sasebo. Total, a staggering 144 aircraft, 8 ships, and 2 SAMs. The People's Air Force Eastern Theatre Command attack today consists of the whole of it. 40 J-20As, radar cross-section 0.05 square meters. They can be shot at about, can't remember, I think it's about 30 miles, maybe 40, 30 miles. 40 J-16s, 24 J-11Bs, 24 JH-7As, 24 H-6 bombers, 2 KJ-2000s, total 154 aircraft. So, around 300 aircraft in play today, plus a bunch of ships, plus God knows how many missiles. Let's start going into the details, viewers. I'm wondering what first. Maybe a quick look at the target. It's going to be important. So, the target is going to be the port facilities here. Sasebo in real life is massive. It's much bigger than this, but, it's a token for what we're doing today. The port facilities and the surrounding defences. They want to neutralise this area for whatever reason. First, 2 Patriots. Each Patriot has PAC-3 only, as that's what's relevant for today. That's a total of 60 PAC-3 interceptors each. As well as that, we have the Sasebo fleet. I don't have any Japanese assets in DCS, so I have to make them up. But I can actually do it realistically in the effect that they would have. So let's go one by one, shall we? If we look at the biggest and best ships, the DDGs, Aegis, very similar to American Arleigh Burkes. So I've used Arleigh Burkes, and all I've done is I've changed them to suit the loadout that these two guys would have. And that is, all I've had to do is remove SM6. Japan does not use ERAM. I've retained the SM2, the ESSM, and the SM3 and the other smaller weapons of no consequence today. So it's a pretty good analogue. Next, for the more advanced DDs, I've used Arleigh Burke too, but I've removed everything except 40 ESSMs, which is what they carry. So, for what we care about today, they're actually pretty realistic, as long as you don't care about what they look like. Speaking of what they look like, I couldn't find anything to use as the older Japanese DDs. The only weapons of consequence these have, remember, is the RIM 7M. The only ship I could find in DCS with the RIM 7M. It's an old, particularly rubbish missile system, kind of hastily added to defend carriers and other ships. It's this guy here. It's the only one I could find that's got it on it. So what I've done is I've put it on it and disabled the other weapons, and there you go. It may look weird, but it's actually got the same two launchers as per the real DDs. So there you go. Finally, the FFM has a Chu-Sam launcher on it. Chu-Sam, I don't really know what it's equivalent to, but it has a range of 50 kilometers, about 30 miles, Mark 2.5 missiles. So what I've actually done is use an old 1970s American frigate. What do you call this? It's the Oliver Hazard Perry, which uses Block 1 SM2, which has about that performance, about 30 miles range, about Mark 2.5. So for what we really care about, that today is a Mogami FFM. And that is as close as I can get to the real-life Sasebo fleet. So I hope that's good enough, viewers. We're going to jump over to the Chinese East Theatre Command, the attack. You've got two AWACSs supporting the attack, and the attack is going to be just bloody massive, to be honest. Stupidly big. I hope it works. The core of the attack, as probably would be in real life, is going to be ballistic missiles. What do you do when you're attacking a country? You just throw ballistic missiles at it, assuming you don't have proper stealth planes and stuff like that. So the 24 H6s are here in what I'll consider the best or the most dangerous possible attack. It's a mass time on target attack. Very difficult to fly, very difficult to organise, but theoretically possible. So 24 aircraft, each aircraft has 4 ballistic missiles, and they do carry these in real life. YJ-21 air launch version, actually it has a different name, DF-21 or something, I forget now, but yeah, that Mark 10 capable, you know it by now, range 900 miles. These could be launched from further away, but I don't want them to be, and it's again of no consequence today. So what I'm doing is saying they need to close within 350 miles, which is this ring here. So as they pass the 330 miles, this is what I'll consider the detection range of those bombers by these sensors around Sasebo, about 330 miles. So that's when the game starts, when they're being detected, and they're just going to trip over that and fire their missiles. The missiles will go up to 300,000 feet at 10 times the speed of sound as per real life, and impact their targets at between Mark 3 and Mark 5 as per real life. The targets I've chosen are mainly the port facilities, but I also want to wipe everything out. So Patriots are also going to be targeted. All ships are also going to be targeted. How well will that attack do? Well, to be honest, it's going to differ every time I run it, so I don't really know. The rest of the attack is air-to-air fighters. What they want to do is suppress and destroy as much of the JASDF as possible. First are the 40 J-20s. I can't spawn 150 planes in at once. It will crash the server or crash my PC, so they're going to go in phases. J-20s first. They will be equipped with their usual loadout of low observability configuration, 4 PL-15s, long-range missile, and 2 PL-10s. They are tasked, as all fighter aircraft today, of proceeding to save fuel until under necessary threat, and then they will start fighting. They will not RTB. No one today will RTB, or I've not asked them to, because there is nowhere to RTB to. China doesn't exist on this map. Japan doesn't actually exist on this map, so everyone has to fight to the death, and they need to do that anyway to have enough processes to actually run this 40 of them will spawn in over time. Then we have the J16s, which today are going to be played by J15s as usual, and it will make no difference for what we're doing today. They will have their usual loadout of 6 PL15s and 2 PL10s, otherwise all set the same to the same orders. Next, we'll have 24 J11Bs, today being played by J11As. I wasn't quite sure how to set these up. In real life, the J11B, the most modern block, can carry the most modern weapon, the PL15. But the lion's share, as far as I can see, actually can't. So I've set them up as basically a J11A with J11A weapons of more medium range. I'm using adders in this case, and archers comparable with the similar Chinese loadouts. Finally will be the J7s. These are funny aircraft. These are 1960s aircraft. They are essentially Chinese manufactured MiG-21s. They have been modernised over time in real life, as all MiG-21s have been. So I've used for it a MiG-21-2000. This is a more modern variation of the MiG. It's actually done by a Israeli firm that modernises MiG-21s. It's added a more powerful radar with the ability to carry medium-range missiles. Again, I've chosen adders. It's just easier for me than that. So medium-range missiles, there are 4 of them, and there's a visual bug there, and it doesn't matter enough. They're carrying 4 missiles today, and that's the J7s, which are almost certainly going to run out of fuel. In fact, they're all going to run out of fuel, viewers. I'm not going to lie. There's nowhere to land. Obviously, they're all going to run out of fuel. It's the best I can do without the terrain. That there is 154 aircraft. Finally, on to the Japanese indigenous defence. So we've talked about the naval defence. I've just set them around Sasebo. I don't know where they would be in real life, but I wanted to give them the best chance of intercepting as many ballistic missiles as possible. So that's what I've done. The JASDF are taking off from the real-life bases locations and will transit to combat. At Tsuki Air Base, we have the Mitsubishi F2s. The Mitsubishi F2 is a really interesting aircraft, viewers. We don't have it. In fact, we don't have any of the Chinese assets. So we've had to do the best we can, but we can get quite close. The F2, in case you don't know, is actually a modified, enlarged version of the American F-16. Main differences to the eye is that it actually has an extra air-to-air weapon station on the wing here, which is actually a really good idea, allowing it to carry 8 missiles. However, that's not of huge consequence today because only 4 of those can be long-range missiles. The other 4 have to be closer-range missiles. So by cutting an extra 2 close-range missiles off, it's going to make very little difference. The missiles I've chosen are the AIM-120D1 from America and the AIM-9X. Now, F2s don't actually use those weapons in real life. They use indigenous built weapons, but they're actually pretty similar. So the best indigenous long-range weapon that the F2 can carry is the AAM-4B. It has a range of about 80 miles, comparable to America's AIM-120D1, and that's why I'm using the D1, 4 of them, which is the most AAM-4s it can carry. Close range weapons are the AAM-5. It doesn't look much like the AIM-9X, but it's very similar in its performance. So what we care about in the macro view is AIM-9X will be fine. As I said, I don't have any of these Japanese assets, and I probably will never have them to any realistic degree anyway. So this is the best we're going to get. We don't have the fancy livery that the JSDF planes have, but again, it doesn't matter for today. And I'm aware I'm missing the pylons. Don't know why, because look, the D3 works fine. D1, not so much, but it doesn't matter. What I care about is missile performance, missile range, and so on. 40 of them taking off at 1 aircraft every 30 seconds, or 1 flight every 2 minutes. Okay, if we head down to the one I can't pronounce here, we have a squadron of F-15Js and F-35s. F-35s, FBs we do have. I never know what loadout to use, but these missiles, it does have pretty much. I've allowed in the bay 4 AIM-120D1s. The Japanese F-35Bs do actually have AIM-120D1s. They bought a batch from America, so that's realistic. I've given them a gun pod. I don't know whether they can carry them or not, but I've given it to them and a couple of sidewinders on the wings. That will be the Block 2 Plus version, the low observability version. And that's it. Again, don't have the livery. Next, F-15Js. We don't have F-15Js. Surprise, surprise. What we do have is F-15EX, and we can make it very similar to the performance of the F-15J. So what we've got, this is a bit of a funny one, is we've got 4 AIM-120D1s on the belly. We've got 2 AIM-120Cs on the sides. and 2 AIM-9X. So, the best weapon this can carry is the AAM-4B, equivalent of the American AIM-120D1, but because of the fin size, it can only carry them on that station, so 4 of them, so hence 4 of them. The next best weapon it can carry is the AAM-4A, with the smaller fins and the smaller range. That's comparable to the American AIM-120C, and so I've put AIM-120Cs on the sides, as close as we can get. The AAM-5, again, is being replaced by the AIM-9X, which is pretty close for what we can model in DCS, and that's it, 2 fuel tanks today. That is the F-15J, as close as we can get, and that's the closest livery I have as well. 20 of them. Next, it's essentially a job of copying and pasting to the other air bases. Whoops. So, Komatsu up here, 40 F-15Js, set up the same. Mitsubishi F2s up here at this base here, as per real life. And this one here is an AWACS base. Speaking of AWACSs, we have 4 representing the 767s there, and there from Hamamatsu. Just realised I've left a submarine in. Look at that. Bye-bye, submarine. Just a couple of things I missed out. The distance between Shanghai and Sasebo is 455 miles, as I've shown there. The average engagement range of the SM2s is 70 miles, which is going to be that ring there. In terms of predictions, viewers, you know, who could possibly predict this? Absolutely no idea, but I suspect as the Chinese aircraft are probably going to be entering the theatre quicker. That's a guess. I don't even know if that's true, to be honest. They're staggering in one squadron every 5 minutes. And they've got the better missiles. PL-15 on paper is better than America's AIM-120D1, which Japan is using today. So I get the feeling that China will steamroller, but it's never that simple. It's never ever been that simple. So stand by. Well, that was lots of talking, viewers, but here goes the battle in 3, 2, 1, go. We start with the bomber and the AWACS airborne. We're going to do the missile strike, and then we're going to start moving in the fighters. And wow, look at that start. 96 ballistic missiles fired time on target. I would not want to be in there. I would love to know how good those missiles actually were in real life, viewers. We're doing some more reading on them, and it's highly debatable how good these missiles are, and I'm not going to say either way, but off they go. They're going to get up to about 300,000 feet. In real life, they can go higher. In real life, they can go further as well. They'll have a maximum speed of about 10 times the speed of sound that impact the target at around Mach 3 to Mach 5, depending on their trajectory. Let's have a look at the defensive units. Even at Mach 10, which they're going now, it still takes time to do 350 miles. For the Japanese Navy, we have modified Arleigh Burke Flight 3s to represent the Aegis DDGs, which they have, and they will be pretty realistic today. We have for the more advanced DDs, Arleigh Burke Flight 2s, which have been heavily modified, which will be pretty good today. Weird as it is, we've got some American CVs, which will represent the older DDs, which, to be honest, should be moderately realistic, and we've got an old FFG for the Japanese FFM. Don't forget the American Patriot system, 2 Patriot systems up, and they're going to be ready to fire. They're not ready to fire now for some reason, but they will be up in due course and ready to fire. And they'll be protecting Sasebo here, which is played by a small port in Guam. Missiles are 270,000 feet, 3,800 knots. That air pressure is pretty much 10 times the speed of sound, or more. Not that that really means anything up here. It's above the atmosphere, so it's basically in space. Speed starts to have a different meaning up here. It's so high we can't even see Guam. Look. We just hit our peak of 276,000 feet and we're now descending, speeding up. 96 fired at a staggering cost of $1.008 billion. So already China is on the back foot to the tune of $1 billion. We'll do a lot of overview today, viewers, because this is where the information is going to be garnered, I suppose. The bombers have despawned because I don't need them anymore, and that's what I need to maintain the integrity of the server. Distance between our missiles and this of 120 nautical miles. Now, what's going to fire first? I don't really know. Well, in fact, I do. It's going to be the SM3s off the DDGs, I suspect. Viewers, I haven't really had massive time to research the Japanese Navy, but let me know what you think of its vessels. I actually found them impressive, pretty impressive. And there we go. SM-3, Block 2As. Very capable anti-ballistic weapon. Problem with it is they're incredibly expensive. Now let's see how well they do in terms of PK, probability of kill, probability of intercept, and now the everything button has been pushed. SM2, SM3, probably a whole bunch more stuff. Right, let's see what happens. Watch the scoreboard at the top there. ESSMs are now coming out. Score, 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 score. One missed. So about 90% probability of kill, which is pretty good. Huge variety of weapons out now. 8 pause. Sorry, viewers, we're only going to get to see this once. Let's just take the time and get it right, shall we? 70 defense. Jeez, look at that. 70 defensive missiles have been fired. That's 8 ESSM Block 1, 21 SM2 MRs, 11 ESSM Block 2s, 12 SM3, and even our Patriot friends have started up. Look at that. Pause again. Let's see what's going on. It's going to go very quickly now, viewers. Right, now the SM2 in DCS are notoriously bad at taking out anything above 4 times the speed of sound. Possibly as per real life, I don't know. And I think we've seen a miss there. It just can't manoeuvre well enough at 90,000 feet. It can intercept lower down. Right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to slow it down now, viewers. Again, we're only going to get one chance to see this. So let's see. An ESSM. SM2s will work against ballistic missiles, but not high up. ESSM's going in. 104 defensive missiles fired. ESSM, it's been fired right at the edge of its ability. Probably won't intercept. Oh, how about that? SM2s are now intercepting because we're within their reach. And look at this. But lovely PAC-3 coming in. Smash! Just caught that frame as it hit it. PAC-3 now intercepting. Very good missile. More PAC-3s hitting. Doing a sterling job. More PAC-3s hitting. SM2 hit. The whole front rank of the 96 missiles have been destroyed. SM2s, 2 for 1 bonus. Look at this one. This one's got through all on his own. Oh, look at what I've just seen. What's this called? This is a RIM 117. I didn't even realise that these would be fired today. But they are. I thought I turned them off. I guess I didn't. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't worry, viewers. They are not going to hit any ballistic missiles today. Right. First ballistic missile smashing over the top of the fleet. And the fleet's done well in that it's launched 121 defensive missiles of various types. It's probably taken out a quarter of the aggressor missiles. Look at those missiles spiralling out towards their target. Look at that one. It literally spiraled upwards. That's because of the trajectory, the wibbly-wobbly trajectory that these missiles now have. The ballistic missiles, not very much. They just wibbly-wobble by a degree or so. And look what it does to some of those defensive missiles. It makes them turn around. Oh, brilliant intercept. Oh, it was a PAC-3. Well done, Mike, and habitual line crosser. You smashed it. Pause. Sorry, but this is important. A missile. Oh, it's being shot by a Sea Whiz bullet. Freaking unbelievable. And go. Obviously, it wouldn't be able to take out a ballistic missile, and even if it did, it would be too late at that point. The missile would just cause just as much damage from a kinetic kill. Oh, and we watch another one. These missiles can hit moving targets. SM3, look at that missile that's had to turn around and chase the ballistic missile back. Oh, what a battle this is, viewers. I don't know where to... I'm going to pause it. I just don't know where to watch from now. All 4 destroyers smashed out. The frigate's gone. Everywhere's gone. The Patriot's been hit. This Patriot's about to be hit. It's just oversaturation. 96. Oh, time on target missiles. It's just too... And the port's now going to be smashed. Well, look at the devastation, viewers. Absolutely terrifying. Ship's still in the middle of blowing up. And Sasebo port is now being hit by, I don't know, 40,000 plus pound warheads. Absolute oversaturation. And full speed. Wowza, what did you think of that? I thought that was absolutely spectacular. FFM down, DD down, DD down, DDD's down, and DDG's down. Everything down. Did anything survive? Nothing. Nothing survived. Wow, that is a interesting thing. Don't worry, because there's still some RIM 166s out. Right, let's quickly analyse that battle. Aircraft are going to start spawning in slowly now, so we can look at that. 96 ballistic missiles were fired from 350 miles time on target at a cost of $1 billion. As a result, 5 ships were done. As a result, 5 ships were lost, and 3 more actually that are not on the scoreboard because it would have been a silly cost. So 1 FFM, 5 DDs at lower costs, and 2 DDGs, Aegis destroyers, at costs of billions and billions of dollars. So that's a real punch in the gut, that is, viewers. How realistically was that modelled? Well, fairly realistically, if you believe the YJ-21 can do what it's advertised to do. Because all of the defensive missiles and radars are, as close to real life as we can get within what, we can get. If those missiles are not as good as they say, which is very possible, then the damage wouldn't have been as bad. So that, I'm going to have to leave up to your mind, viewers, because there's only so much I know. In terms of blue weapons, they had a damn good shot. In terms of time, they had, 10 seconds to start firing before the first missiles hit and took out the defences. So in 10 seconds, or whatever, maybe even less, they got out 149 defensive missiles, 12 RIM 166s, God knows why they even fired them. They never even fired the RIM 7Ms, which I deliberately put them in there for, but, who expected them to? 20 ESSM-1s, 36 SM-2s, 24 ESSM-2s, 12 SM-3. Unfortunately, the SM-3 was brilliant and could have taken all of those missiles down, but there is no destroyer in the world that has enough equipped to it to do that damage. It's just unfortunate. 43 PAC-3 MSCs, probably the star of the show. They took out a lot. They probably took out 20, 30 of the incoming missiles. About half were taken out, about half got through. To be honest, in that configuration that we saw there, very possibly realistic in my opinion, but you may disagree. Right, viewers, we now go on to the air battle. As I said, aircraft will start spawning in bit by bit. We've already got the first F2s, and in fact we've got a whole lot out. First, let's look at the J-20s, of which we have 1 squadron airborne, and more will follow. These are quite nasty. They're not as good as American stealths, and pretty much everyone accepts that. I think even China accepts that. But what they have is them in big numbers, and even though they're not as good as American stealth, that doesn't mean they can't do good damage, and they can, especially in DCS, do good damage. They can only be shot at about 30 miles, which gives them a real, use. They can be seen beyond that, but not shot at beyond that. They're Mark II capable, and so on. I wouldn't want to get in a dogfight with one. Sorry, as one, but otherwise, they're pretty good. Mitsubishi F2s, played by this rather ugly version of a Block 50-70 F-16, but otherwise, what we care about today, it's going to be moderately realistic. Simulating them taking off, obviously, from the sea, getting up to altitude. And it's important to say that there's going to be no big rumble to begin with. And that's because the distances are so big. We've modelled 1,000 miles, viewers. None of these aircraft can do more than 100 miles already with their afterburner on. So I have to create some basic programming for them, for all of them to save fuel until they think that they are in a position to really go into combat. So they're all programmed to fly around at 40,000 feet at 500 knots, a very good trade-off of speed. That means that they can go at 1,000 miles, over 1,000 miles in that configuration. That will get them to the battle. Then they will switch to combat mode and start the fight. So everything is on a fuel-saving exercise at the moment. F-35's taking off first from this base here. In case you didn't see the briefing, and a lot of you don't, I've modelled all the bases in all the correct positions with all of the correct aeroplanes at them, with as close as I can get loadouts as they would have. F-35, as good as it is, also has to save fuel, and that's what that's doing. Hamamatsu has spawned its AWACSs in earlier, of which I'm using E3s. And Komatsu here, it's F-15Js, heading, meandering, fuel-savingly into combat. They're up at 40,000 feet now, pretty much. Getting good gas mileage up there, which is what they need. Finally, Mitsubishi F2 is taking off from this base all the way back here. And they've got, what is it, 600 miles to go. So they'll be turning their afterburners on in about 40 minutes. And that's the reality of this battle, viewers. You wanted it set out as it is in real life. It's a surprise attack, so Japan didn't suddenly, you know, move all their planes forward to the front bases. And even if they wanted to, they couldn't really. You can't do that. You'd have to move the entire squadron, which isn't really a thing, or not in at least the, you know, the kind of time frames that we've got here. So they would have to take off from their bases, and that causes them problems, of course. Right, I will need to put the frame rate meter on now, viewers, and I guess I can start speeding things up. What we don't want is a crash, viewers, and that is very possible. We get that. It is very taxing on the PC to run something like this. Game time is 12 minutes, and you can see that at the top right of the screen. Distance between fronts of, wow, 200 nautical miles, 250 land miles nearly. So still, that's the size of my entire country there. It boggles the mind. Japan, by the way, is a really big country. I know you think of it as a small country, and it is compared to China, but it's well over 1,000 miles long. It's enormous, really. And of course, China and Japan have huge amount of history between them, and not very good history. So Japan, you know, has a good reason for its massive air force and navy, which it does. Compare it to my country, its air force must be probably more than twice as big. It's quite impressive. We are 17 minutes into the sim. Distance between fronts in nautical miles of 120 nautical miles. Right, we are first aircraft engaging. The J-20s have decided now is the time, or I've decided it for them. In case you're wondering where humans are, the humans don't take part in the modern battles anymore, viewers. They don't want to fly the modern planes, and I don't really blame them. And there's some technical reasons as well that makes it more difficult nowadays. So it is what it is. AI it is, viewers. These guys up here at Adventure Combat. Distances fired today will be about 65% of the maximum range of the missile. That's what I use them at nowadays, viewers. It allows a much better probability of kill. I used to use the maximum range, and it used to look very impressive in WarGames, seeing missiles lumped over at over 100 miles, but it wasn't actually very effective. Only about 10% would actually hit. Now the PK is going to be more than about 40%, 50%, which in a big wargame like this is exceptionally impressive. Right, who's going to fire the first missile? One slight worry I have is that these F-16s are not yet in combat. Will they see the danger in time? We'll just have to see. First missile is out from the Chinese at a range of about 100 miles. Three missiles out. PL-15. 4 times the speed of sound. Come on, F-16s. Wake up, wake up. Get out of your fuel saving. Well, that's most unfortunate, viewers. Well, what we've seen now, viewers, is the blue side absolutely refused to engage the threat, which is annoying if you've spent 1.5 days on this. So I'm going to go and debug it, and we'll come straight back. And welcome back, viewers. My apologies for the stoppage. Now, this is going to sound a bit weird, but what's been just a few seconds for you has been 3 days for me. I recorded that first half on Monday. It's now Thursday, and that's because that problem that we just discovered turned out to be quite a big problem that needed quite a big fix. What it was, I think what happened was where we left off. Red guys starting firing missiles on blue guys, and blue guys absolutely refused to react. And that's because the blue guys, it turns out, couldn't see the red guys at all. Usually they should be able to see them. The AWACS, the blue AWACS, should be able to see even stealth aircraft some distance away, you know, 70 miles, 80 miles, 90 miles, and vector in the blue guys, and then eventually, when the blue guys get close enough, they'll be able to fire at 20 miles, 30 miles, or whatever. None of that happened. It all broke down. And that's because I think, in the end, it turned out that we've just oversaturated the core game AWACS with too many 5th gen aircraft on the battlefield. There's over, I think, 60 5th gen in this battle, plus, you know, another 200 and 40 or whatever, 4th gen, so we just pushed it too far. So, after 3 days of messing around and scratching my head and stressing out, I finally found a solution. It's kind of a cheeky little sort of background solution I had to do with the AWACSs, but I think I've managed to hide it. So as far as you guys are concerned, it's going to look, well, exactly as it was when we left off. So, if you remember 3 days ago, or 3 seconds ago for you, China did a big ballistic missile strike on I can't even remember what the target was now. What was it? It was this port here, wasn't it? Yes, that's it. Sasebo. Successfully beat the indigenous and American defences there. Took out the Sasebo fleet and the port facilities, and that's it. Now the air war is moving in. The 150 or whatever Chinese aircraft are moving in, supported by their AWACS, and the Americans moving in. Sorry, I was just catching up for my benefit, if not yours, viewers. So at this point I can move forward and everything should just work now. What we should see is that the AWACS do see the Chinese aircraft at distance, even the stealthy ones. They can't track them, they can't fire missiles at them, but what they can do is know that they're roughly there, out there somewhere, and blues will start being vectored onto them. We'll probably see that there now. Yep, F-16's afterburners on, off they go. Right, that's much better. I cannot tell you how frustrating it was to try and sort that problem out, viewers. I just could not figure out what the heck was going on. I think it's because this battle was just such a big battle. So many units in play, so many what we call non-core game units. It just starts to upset things after a while. Right, well, it all seems to be working this time. F-35Bs from the base here that I still can't pronounce. The F-16s, sorry, the F-2s from Sugi here, charging in. Chinese jets aren't engaging yet. They've come a long, long way from Shanghai, and they're going to wait till the very last minute. Look how far they've come until they need to turn their afterburners on, because they do not want to waste their fuel. Distances, if you remember, are massive. 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles from the edge of each coalition today, so really big. Distance between fronts now of, in nautical miles, of 120, so still quite some way to go. Even the mighty APG-81 radar on the F-35 will only see the J-20 at about 30 miles and be able to fire at about 30 miles. So to be honest, we may as well just speed things up a bit. If you remember, we've got all the Japanese planes flying from here. The 2 squadrons of F-15s from... No, is F-15? Yes, F-15 from Komatsu. F-2s from Hyakuri here. Hundreds of miles to the northeast. Right, the Chinese are now engaging. Stuff's going to happen very quickly now, even over these big distances. First missile out. It's going to be from China. 3 PL-15s, topping out at 4 times the speed of sound. And this time the F-2s are very much going to react. Currently offensive. Alright viewers, we have a freaking battle. Now again, the F-2s can't fire at the J-20s until they're about 30 miles. That's just how it is. F-35's got the same problem, 50 miles now. 4 missiles out now, all red missiles. Slowly working their way. Mark 3 now, and the J-20s are probably Mark 2 by now. So they're only just escaping the firing aircraft. 4 missiles out, still nothing. Oh, we've got an F-35 missile out. What? At 33 miles. The max they can fire at is 33 miles. AIM-120D's out, and of course these aircraft carry AIM-120D1 in real life. Now, the J-20s can only fire at the F-35s at less than 20 miles because of the superior F-35 stealth. AIM-120D Mark 4 missile again. First kill is going to come in soon. 12 missiles fired by China. 6 missiles fired by, I'm going to say America. Wow, a whole bunch of F-2s just got smashed down by PL-15s. Trying to catch the kills. J-20 evade. 3, sorry about the scoreboard, I've used a different scoreboard this time. 3 Japanese aircraft down. 1 Chinese aircraft down. PL-15s being shot at F-35 stealths who have successfully evaded. Well done, boys. More being fired. Good evasion. Wow, that's fast. More AIM-120s. Good evasion. Server's starting to stress now, as you can see. If I have to go to half speed, I'll go down to half speed. Fingers crossed we don't have to. An off-bore shot by a PL-15 on an F-35. Getting confused by the stealth and successfully defeated. 1 J-20 down, 4 F-2s down. A new flight of F-2s being attacked there. Trying to watch everything. Wow, 2 F-35s just got smashed down. Only 1 Chinese aircraft down to 6 Japanese losses. That is Hardcore. 7 losses. Another F2. And the F-35s merge. A lot of bad flying going on from blue here, but don't worry, it's just the beginning. Things will settle down, viewers. They always do. Come on, F-35. What are we paying you for? No friendly fire, please. Right, keep it going. Keep the pressure on. Stealth aircraft always get favoured when the server machine starts to get stressed out, I noticed. J-20 down. 3 J-20s down to 8 F-2s down. And oh my goodness gracious me. China have fired 53 missiles. They've got longer range missiles, and that gives them a massive advantage, especially against 4th gen jets. 54 missiles fired, plus 2 close range missiles. 21 fired in response from Japan. They simply can't compete at the moment. 3 J-20s down to 10 Japanese aircraft down, massively favouring China at the moment. Exactly what I was worried about. When you put J-20s and such, they're not the best plane in the world, but when you put enough of them against something, they can become very problematic. I suppose they're only saving graces and not carrying very many missiles, so they will run out of missiles. Server's still struggling a lot. Another F-14 Japanese aircraft down to 3 Chinese aircraft down. That's bad news for Japan. Really bad news. Come on, do something. Must do better. These are good planes. Oh, another F-35 just went down. Come on. What am I paying you for? Completely missed him, look. 16 Japanese down. Good evasion, but we need better. 17 Japanese aircraft down. The steamroller is just freaking unstoppable. 18 Japanese down. 4 Chinese down. Possible to watch all these kills. 18 Japanese down. Incredibly bad. Incredibly one-sided at the moment. Lots of terrible, terrible flying by F-35s today. For unknown reasons. For stupid reasons. Come on, just shoot him. No, shot the wrong guy. Alright then. Oh dearie, dearie me. F2's in absolute disarray. Running away. Okay, a few Chinese have just gone. 6 Chinese down. For 18 Japanese down, and a massive clash as more Japanese come in. Server's about to die. I'm going to have to go down to half speed, I'm afraid, viewers. That is awfully frustrating, but it is what it is. Down to half speed now. Japanese reinforcements, still hundreds of miles to go. The one consolation, I suspect, is after firing 67 missiles, the Japanese J-20s are going to be very low on missiles. That means they're going to come in for dogfights and hopefully get beaten. 8 J-20s down to 19 Japanese aircraft down. You know what? It's bad, but it's better than it was at least. Slow motion PL-10. Oh, I like this slow motion. I can actually keep up now. PL-10 kill on an F2. Boom. Server just about handling it at half speed. 8 J-20s down to 20 Japanese aircraft down. If nothing else, we need to cull enough so we don't crash the server. Come on, catch him, catch him, catch him. Smashy boom boom, J-20 down. Oof. Free up a bit more memory for us viewers. Another one there. Yes, they're going down now. 9 J-20s down. They're finally taking their licks. This one's beating this AMRAAM. Okay, the amount of AMRAAMs being fired as compared to the PL-15s is now rising massively in terms of proportions. That's good. That means soon a bunch of J-20s are going to be on the wrong end of that. F-35s have done abysmal today. Now, you see these battles as well as I do, viewers. Everything's the same. Nothing's changed. Sometimes F-35 does brilliantly and wipes everything out. Sometimes it's just a mess. Today, they've just flown absolutely terribly, appallingly. I guess that's how it goes. Humans are the same. Why shouldn't AI be the same? 9 Chinese jets down to 22 Japanese jets down. AMRAAM about to connect. Boom. 11 Chinese down. And now a kill ratio of 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. I'm going to try going full speed again. And full speed. Okay, we're good. We've got to merge. PL-10 versus an AIM-120. Another Chinese jet down. 12. And an F2 takes it up the chuff. 12 to 23. Lots of AMRAAMs in the air now. I'm expecting to see a big hull of J-20s. Good stuff. Finally, Japan are coming back, and they were pushed all the way back to their, the border of their country. But Finally, they're pushing back out. That said, a massive reinforcement of Chinese are coming in. I mean, they're taking their time because they're coming from 300 miles away. But reinforcements, Japanese reinforcements slowly on their way. We're going to have to go to half speed again by the looks of it in a minute. Eventually, I will be able to afford a better PC, viewers. But at the moment, not so much. J-20 smashing his way into combat. 73 long-range missiles fired by China, 8 close-range missiles fired by China. Japan fired 65 long-range missiles, 2 close-range missiles, lost 6 F-35s, 17 F-2s. China's losses are going up. 14 losses now as a big swathe of AMRAAMs pour into them. Look at him, smash right into it. See that sucker coming. 16 Chinese fighters down to 24 American fighters down, and a big bunch. What do we got here? Who are these? More J-20s just coming to the theatre. Wow, look at that. And they have just smashed out a huge salvo of PL-15s. That's going to hurt a lot of F-2s in a minute. Dogfighting, 5th gen planes, all of them probably out of ammo. Yeah, they're all out of ammo, so they're not really achieving a great deal at the moment. PL-15 about to get that lightning down. Smash, good. Cull him out the way. He's not being any use at the moment. It's going to be another big push from China here, I'm afraid, viewers. The Japanese have almost used all their lightnings up for very little worth as well. So it was really depressing to see that was. On the plus side, the numbers are looking better. China have got 20 J-20s down. Japan have just lost their first F-15 from a long-range shot. Oh, here are the F-15s. F-15s are in from this place here. The problem is these PL-15s just outrange anything that Japan has. AIM-120D outranges it. AAM 4 outranges it. Oh my god, and look at that salvo coming in. It's going to be so messy. Huge losses from Japan coming up, I'm afraid, viewers. 23 Chinese down, 33 Japanese down. F-15J down. Last push from the Lightning Bs coming in, for what it's worth. Oh, look at that, chasing all of those F-2s. Oh dear, as my baby says. Oh dear indeed. Absolutely terrible. Still F-35s mincing about here, but, you know, achieving absolutely nothing. F-15s getting 100% smacky, boom, boom. They just can't get close enough to the J-20s to fire. They'll be glad when these J-20s are all down, I'll tell you that. So far, 25 have been shot down. 26 to 40 Japanese mixed aircraft. We're about to lose the server, going into half-time. Switch, in half-time again, viewers. Got to do what we got to do, I'm afraid. 27 J-20s down to 46 mixed Japanese aircraft down. And another F-15, as good as it is, cannot compete with a J-20. Smash. Shot from long range, and they can't even get close enough to fire back. It's depressing. Oh, so first AIM-9 I've seen today. 28 J-20s down to 48 mixed Japanese. They've done another massive push. The Chinese have done another massive push. And they are baring their teeth, and they've pushed all the way back to the edge of the country, and still the reinforcements have got so far to go. And there's nothing they can do. They can't physically turn their afterburners on. They don't have enough fuel. They don't have magic engines. They have to sit and wait. It's awfully frustrating. Oh, dearie me, viewers. I hate to say it, but I think I might have been right on this one. Just when you put that many J-20s in that size of sky, it's just unstoppable. Alright, I think we can go back to full speed. Full speed. More J-20s. Oh, more F-15s. Oh, 51. Oh, God. This is absolutely miserable. The J-20s don't have the best stealth, but it's good enough to evade a missile on that aspect. And now the J-15s are in and on off the leash, and they're not to be messed with either. 29 Chinese J-20s down to 53 mixed Japanese down, and PL-15s range over 100 miles just been chucked at the 4th gen aircraft. Kind of smashing in at 2 times the speed of sound. 29 Chinese down to 56. 56 Japanese down. Oh, this is going to enrage some viewers, I'm afraid, viewers. Oh, don't be friendly fire. Friendly fire. But it is what it is. You tell me, or you guys tell me what you want. I put, you know, what assets are actually there. Oh, God, he just rammed his face into the goddamn ground. And I press the play button. That's all I do. Eastern Chinese theatre is not to be messed with, as it turns out. PL-10, equivalent of the American AIM-9X. Didn't even see it coming. 60 Japanese down to 29 Chinese down. And they really are wreaking their revenge now. M120Ds plastering around from the F2s, but these J20s are chasing the F-35s backwards. I mean, maybe that's good. Maybe that's keeping them busy until the reinforcements can arrive. It's still got 300 miles to go. AMRAAM at this J20, it's evaded it through its stealth, which is frustrating. And a PL-10, it's going to absolutely obliterate those F-15s, no doubt. They didn't see it. I can't see the bloody stealth plane. It's gone straight by them, look. Oh dear. 31 Chinese down to 62 Japanese down, a 2-to-1 kill ratio. If I was a Chinese man at the moment, I would be laughing. That guy's lost his aero, run out of speed, but still his flares managed to dupe it. Go on F2. His hen's got in the hen house. God damn it. Chinese are flying extremely well today. Extremely well. Japanese caught out. Oh dear. Another AIM-9. 31 Chinese down to 63 Japanese down. Yet again evaded. Oh, that's hard to watch, viewers. Another F2 down. Absolutely creaming the Japanese at the moment. And now they're moving into the mainland. This guy's just got bored of these F-15s, playing with them, has just gone past them. A pack of 4 F-15s have hunted down a J-20, but it may be too little too late, I'm afraid. And in come the J-15s now, the flankers mixed in with whatever the hell that is. 33 Chinese down to 64 Japanese down. I think we're going to have to do a rematch with America helping out, viewers. Because this is not looking good. Not one little bit. Just not enough power. These J-20s have been responsible for it. They've just been an absolute nightmare. Not good enough one-on-one, but when you send 40 in formation, they just become freaking unstoppable. Especially when they've got this kind of mutual support that they do. It's very hard to take down. 34 evaded via stealth. 34 Chinese down to 64 Japanese down. Still J-20s in play. Just die. God damn it. Still J-20s in play. PL-15 is going to be raining down, absolutely raining down on these F2s. 37. First J-15's gone down to 66. Miserable score. F2's trying to stretch the legs of these PL-15s, but they are very hard to beat, as we know. And still, the reinforcements coming from the interior of the country have still got well over 200 nautical miles to go, nearly 300 statute miles. They've just got so far to go. I don't think these guys are going to hold out in time. Too many Chinese are coming at too big a race. Still a J-20 in. 38 Chinese down to 70. 70 Japanese down. I mean, it's so... I can't read the number because it goes off the screen. Over $8 billion worth of Japanese equipment destroyed, and that's excluding all of the ships and stuff that happened earlier because I had to start the game again at the beginning of the week. Mr. Sakamoto not going to be happy with this. The last of the initial F2s have been wiped out. That's what, well, there you go, it's 72 aircraft. 80 aircraft have just been wiped out as if they were nothing. The steamroller has happened, viewers. The steamroller has happened. 40 Chinese down. Look at these guys. Still there's J-20s in play. It just rubs salt in the wound. Now, my best hope is that they've done so well, that they've pushed so far that they'll run out of fuel, you know, once they're engaging. I mean, look how far they are away from Shanghai now. They're, I don't know, well, they're 400 miles they've come from Shanghai. They're going to run out of fuel. Is this guy finally going to... Oh, that F2 is committed. That F2 is committed, and he's evaded it. Well done. What, friggin', you know what Japan needs now is a friggin' Godzilla. Godzilla. It needs a hero to jump in and start taking down Chinese. And I've not seen a Japanese hero today. This guy here, he can do it. This F-15, this F-15J, you can do it, sir. Bigowiwa. And demonetized. 44 Chinese down to 73. And I say again, 73, 74 Japanese down. Reinforcements almost at the island, but they're still well over 200 land miles away. And even when they get into combat, I don't know if they're going to have enough fuel to do anything. They've just come 500 miles. Oh, Hero didn't last long against the J-20. J-15s have taken a bloody nose already, but it doesn't matter. The J-20s have done so much damage at this point. And imagine being an F-16 and having to operate with this many PL-15s coming towards you. I mean, that's theoretically, if these missiles do what they can say, that is what it's going to look like in real life. Just a wall, an absolute wall of PL-15s. And basically no way of defeating a Mark III missiles. 46 Chinese down to 78 Japanese down. 79, 80, oh, good lord. Oh, it's the AWACS next, I suppose. Still, the F-15s can't turn on their afterburners yet. They're still over 200 land miles away from the fight. We've got a few minutes. 46 Chinese aircraft down. Fired 213 PL-15s, 21 PL-10s at a cost of $5 billion. Japan have lost 80 aircraft, 40, something I can't read, F-2s, 20 F-15s, 20 F-35s, fired 146 AMRAAMs or AAMs, 11 AAM-5s at a cost of nearly $9 billion. Oh dear, that's the GDP of a small country. Viewers, I take no pleasure in it. No pleasure in it at all. Right, these J-15s are now up for the next fight. They're charging towards the F-15s, and that's probably a good thing. It means that because they're the aggressors, they're probably going to run out of fuel. In fact, these guys are finally, we've got some luck. Out of fuel. Out of fuel. Out of fuel. That's the one good thing, and we always see this in these big, huge battles, is that the winning side pushes the losing side so geographically far. I mean, the Bulls has moved, 200 miles this way or more. They just get excited and run out of fuel. I mean, you even see it in the human battles that do stuff like this. Exactly the same thing happens. They get too excited, they charge 200 miles, and that's it, they're out of fuel, so they're saving grace. I mean, it's kind of a crappy way of winning, but winning is winning at the end of the day. Finally, the F-15s have decided I've got enough fuel to start afterburning. They probably have got enough fuel to even get within missile range, but we'll have a try it. Well, what a battle so far. What a big one. I mean, it's a bit eye-watering if you're Japanese, but okay, distance between fronts is still going to be massive. Yeah, well over 150 miles, so what I'm going to do is probably try and speed things up a bit at this point to see what happens. It might turn out that the Reds have just run out of fuel and have to go home. Whoops. Other than the idea of the Reds running out of fuel, I don't see any way that Japan can come back now, viewers. First missiles out, AIM-120D from 90 miles. I was definitely not shy of using the range of that missile. Not sure I would have fired that far away, but let's go and have a look at the rest of the Chinese aircraft. So the J-15s are heading in, 40 of them, I think it was, 40, yep. Then the J-11s back here, they look the same. In real life, they're slightly different aircraft. J-7s at the back, they're medium-range missiles. I would not want that coming towards me. This guy has run out of fuel. There you go, viewers. Japan's best bet. Just run these guys out of fuel. They're going to go land at Sasebo. They're going to land at Sasebo that they've just blown up. Kind of rubbing salt in the wound, really, isn't it? This guy's out of fuel. So I'd say China have probably got a whole squadron out of fuel now. J-15's coming from here. J-20s. Still, look at all these J-20s that survived. J-20 out of fuel. J-20 out of fuel. God knows what they're going to do. Probably just ditch. Alright, more missiles going out at stupendous ranges. Probably fired way too far away to be effective. Alright, here we come. Look at that big pincer that the Reds are doing. The finale battle for Japan. Can they pull something out of the bag? They've only got 2 squadrons of F-15s and 1 squadron of F-2s. That's all they've got. Most of them have travelled 500-600 miles, so have got no fuel anyway. Can they somehow bring something out the bag? And they've got inferior missiles to the attackers. Come on, little missile, work for it, work for it. No, simply not that effective at 90 miles against a fighter. Wow, this one really carried its stink with it. F-15 down. Bad start. Come on. Okay, AMRAAMs are pouring in now, but look, the J-15's just got a much better evasion. Made the missile work harder. 47 Chinese down to 81 Japanese down. Come on, something make contact. I beg you. PL-15 is raining in real hard now. Boof! China's gone down there. Okay, finally getting some AMRAAMs connecting now. Another one here, down at 1,000 knots. Again, just haven't quite got that range of that PL-15. Boom, J-15 down. That's good. They're keeping them at bay. They're keeping them at bay. And are they going to evade it? No. 50 Chinese down to 82 Japanese down. And just a giant stink in the middle now. A giant salvo missile salad. This one getting chased while it's trying to land. Well, that serves you trying to friggin' land, sir. Chasing down over Sasebo. Shooting down over Sasebo. Make him pay. That guy's come 450 miles to get blown up. No, this guy's going to pay, unfortunately, for his... I guess he already paid. What about this guy? Yep, he's going to pay too. That volley of F-15J's gone down now. 53 Chinese down to 85 Japanese down. And they're just losing the sniper war. The sniper war is always going to favour the missile with the biggest legs, and that is the PL-15, unfortunately. AIM-120 not quite got the legs for it. There is a better version of the AIM-120 called the AIM-120D3, but Japan does not have it at yet. Oh, nose! An AWACS is going down. Oh dear, that's poked their eyes out. Yeah, that's a thing, I'm afraid, viewers. Come on, run out of speed, run out of speed. Turn the other way, knobhead. Oh dear. 53 Chinese down to 88. They've just had a massive boost. Oh no, they're right inside the interior of the country now. And this area didn't have any Patriots have been shot, if you remember. Another flight of F-15s, but are they going to have any effect? No. The answer is no, they're not going to have any effect. Come on, never give up. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Name that song, viewers. And demonetized for copyright infringement. Oh, come on, just a cheating missile. Jesus, he was hot. Just smashing, slashing so many missiles at the Japanese. Running away fruitlessly with no fuel against PL-15s. Run, 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 little F-15J. He's out, running himself out of fuel. He's tactically useless. Uses missiles up anyway. He's only got his crappy one left. Another 4 come in, but by the time they get in, look, they're being, what, 20, 30 PL-15s in the air? Always going to be on the back foot. And that's what I said at the beginning, you remember? Chinese have organised, so they've got the whole front, the whole 200-mile front of planes coming in. Whereas Japan has to dribble in because they're having to take off. They weren't prepared for this, obviously. So it's always going to favour the guy that can put the bigger front up, assuming everything otherwise is equal. 55 Chinese down to a very depressing 91 Japanese down. Only 50 Japanese aircraft left, and the others are all outside of fuel response time. Oh dear. Ramming their face into friggin' PL-15s. You get target fixation. They really are. When they're at Mark II like that, you can't manoeuvre. There's nothing you can do. You've got to slow down first. Finally, I can't remember the last time I saw a Chinese kill. No, of course it missed. Jeez, I swear, Japan's got such terrible luck today. Every friggin' missile they see misses. Missile just hit a missile there. Huh. Oh, they're right. Look, they are now 50 miles inside Japan. He's out. $55 to $95. And it just gets worse the longer we go on. I mean, it's a shame they couldn't hold on longer because, look, we're dealing with just MiG-21s now, which are, easy peasy to kill. J-11s, fairly easy peasy to kill. They just hang on a little bit better. Anyway, don't give up, viewers. Never, ever give up. They can demonetize you. They can throttle your views. They can try and stop you. But what they can't do is stop me uploading. No one can stop me uploading. So just don't give up. Keep pushing, pushing. Oh dear, Japan have had over $10 billion worth of damage in the air. Come on, I desperately want to see some sort of comeback. AIM-120 has just not got the legs for it. Chasing this guy over Sasebo. Turn the meter back off. Finally, have a dispatch here. Have freaking time. I can't remember the last time I saw a Chinese aircraft go down. Yes. Double KO. 57 down to 95. Come on, here comes the comeback. A lot of these guys. They've landed at a civilian airbase in Sasebo. And they're now assaulting with their, what do they have, Lugers? I don't know, Type 093 pistols. And the rest are coming in, look. Right, but that's literally what they would have to do. These jets don't have enough fuel to go 500 miles back to China. So maybe it is an invasion force. Maybe they're invading one fighter at a time. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but why not? America will have to come back from Guam with a scorched earth policy. Well, finally, the Japanese are starting to fly good, but I'm afraid to say it's probably a bit late now. I'm gonna shoot him. Oh, aim 9s. Aim 9s at dawn. All out of ammo. Huh. What is the matter with the aim 9s today? Lots of misses. Not many hits. Oh, 10 minutes not friendly fire. 10 minutes not friendly fire. Don't be friendly fire. No one wants to see it today. It's not. Good tracking AMRAAMs. By American. Oh, look, they're going to come and mop up the suckers that landed at Sasebo. I am mopping you up. And also, you are a sucker. Ejected before he got hit. Well done, Mr. China man. Chinese man. And demonetized. And that's what I would have done too. Oh, all the AMRAAMs are coming in now. God knows what for. People on final, I guess. Why not? It's not against the Geneva. After landing in your frigging country. Oh, but it appears it's going to miss anyway, so don't worry too much. Huh. How about that? Oh no, maybe not. Wiping them out. Yeah. Bye. That's all that's left of the Japanese forces within response range. And there is a whole load. Look at the J11s, they're not fighting. I wonder why. I think they're still trying to save fuel. You know what? As weird as it is, viewers, it is not actually over yet. And that guy looks like he's about to strafe those guys on the ground. Oh, that F2's finally wreaking revenge for his mates from friggin' wherever. Stop the invasion. Stop the invasion. Successfully stopped a third of the invasion force. Well done, young man. Well done. Still some fresh legs coming in. When I say fresh, I mean they've only travelled 700 miles. I'm an AMRAAM and I want Rwenge. I want to initiate Rwenge. 66 Chinese down. Make that 67 Chinese down. Still woeful score. Oh, look at this. The, what are they? MiGs are firing adders. 1990s spec adders. Pretty much as they were doing in real life, I suppose. But an adder does not compare to an AIM-120D, I'm afraid, sir. They're going to get outrangered. First MiG's going to start going down. Smoosh! You smooshed in one, sir. Oh, wow, the adder's made it. Who would have thought? Not me. This war game just keeps on giving. 70 Chinese down. To 199, but they're going to get swarmed. The swarm always wins, viewers. You're all fully aware that the swarm always wins, and the swarm is always about to win, I'm afraid. Run! Run faster! Please run faster! Please! Bollocks! Ah, friggin' hell. And now we're getting beaten by friggin' MiG-21s. What a miserable day in the office. The pincer is complete, viewers. The pocket, the Japanese Sasebo pocket is surrounded. When did these missiles got so freaking good all of a sudden? Son of a friggin' bitch. MiG-21 best missile fighter, question mark? 70 Japanese down, 70 Chinese down, sorry. Shoot more. Must shoot more. Ah, you know what? I forgot to put the MiG-21s on the scoreboard. Bollocks. Sorry, viewers. I thought the numbers weren't going up. I forgot to put the MiG-21s on the scoreboard, and I think I forgot to put the J11s on the scoreboard. Oh, balls. Never mind. It's not that important. We can see roughly what's going on. Come on. Resistance pocket. Resistance pocket of destiny. Be a resistance pocket of destiny. Take that MiG down. Jesus. Stupidly fast. I think we may have screwed the flight model up a bit, viewers. Get some. Okay, J11s are on the scoreboard. That's the good news. Just think that guy's come from 700 miles away and is now being chased around by Russian missiles. Boof. Wow, just a whole bunch of reds just went down. When did that happen? I didn't even see that happen. And look at this. Friggin', have we finally found our Japanese Godzilla? We have. It's just George 3 adders. And I love nothing better than a man who can suck up a good adder. J11s are now going down with extreme prejudice. With extreme prejudice. Look at that. The blues have just wiped those reds out. That's what I said, viewers. Don't give up. Hero Japanese guy's about to get added finally. But he's done well. He's going in for his gun kill. Boom. Let them waste their ammo on you. Oh, look at this guy. He's aggressive. He's an aggressive young Japanese person. Come on, give it to them, Sakamoto. Oh, it's gone. How embarrassing for the missile. Or not! Wowee. 77 plus all of the MiGs, basically. 77. So probably 100, probably about 100 Chinese down to 114 Japanese down. Adders coming out, swapping places with AMRAAMs. Still the pincer persists. Like a boil on the nose of the Chinese. Uh-oh. F2's dead. Spoon. I want some spoon for my Honda. Still some MiGs in play. Oh, I don't know who's going to win right now. I mean, what a comeback. What a comeback from Japan. You just never know what you're going to get. If not, oh, and they've taken the invasion force down. The invasion force is gone. Well done. And he's going to go re-invade Sasebo and take it back to Japan. Well done. Well defended your island. All right, still goes on. It goes on. Missed, both missed. Huh. Okay then. No, why don't you see the threat? Why don't you see the threat? God damn AI. Come on, show us some F-15 power. Show us some F-15 power. Ah! Oh, God damn it. And another one down. Oh, that's frustrating to watch. No good. Or is it? Or friggin' is it? It is if he turns into it. I'll take it. Kills a kill, viewers. Wow! Still going! He's still going! From the very beginning. This guy must have like 25 kills. And he's still going. Why haven't you run out of fuel? Why hasn't your plane rusted away because it's been alive so long? Chinese steel rust. Badly. And demonetized. Wow, this really feels like it's been going on for about 5 hours, and there's probably a good reason for that, probably because it's been going on for about 5 hours. But you wanted the biggest wargame yet, and you got the freaking biggest wargame yet. Smash. Huh, he's still alive. How about that? Just ignored it completely. Okay, then. I was finally about to get caught out by friggin'... Just die! Chinese hero, big fat knob on his head. Oh, he's his own friggin' pulled his own wing off. That freaking time. I know, guys, why don't you waste the rest of your missiles on your bodies? That's sarcasm, by the way. Oh my god, there's 2 more J20s. Well, at least they're not active. I don't know what they're doing. The wargame that just won't end. It's going to end. Pop. 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 It's his own fault, he got way too close. Way too close, mate. Fair enough. I will tie you in circles. Ha 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 ha. Oh, what a knob. Just shoot the threat. Don't shoot the non-threat, shoot the threat. Or the threat will shoot you. Pretty badly. Ugh. Die. Oh, I see why they're having to get so close. They're having to use old AMRAAM 20Cs that is only have a range of 40 miles. Not giving up. I'm not giving up. Oh, nose, nose. Hero Man is shooting our guy. Miss. Get out. Oh, and he ejected. Why not eject? You know what? It's just come 800 miles and had a massive dogfight. He can eject if he wants to eject. I think that's the end of the combat. Everyone is out of fuel or ammo. So, who won that? Who won the air war? Well, at the end, everything fair and square, Japanese have more fighters in the air. Everyone's RTB now to go and land. The China has 1, 2, 3, 4 fighters. Japanese have a dozen fighters. So just by the skin of their teeth, I think that may be a Japanese air war win. The whole of the East Theatre Command is down, basically. And pretty much the whole of Japanese Air Force is gone as well. But they withstood the attack. All right, viewers. That took 3 days plus the 2 days it originally took to make. So 5 days. It pretty much nearly finished me off. But that is Japan versus China. Japan came in, did a massive ballistic missile strike. Took out a huge, vast amount of defence and navy around this area. Then charged in the whole East Theatre Command. Did vast damage. Just wiped out in total probably 60% of all of the Japanese Air Force. But lost the entire East Theatre Command as well. Japan, it turns out, does have enough defence to stop this attack. And it's kind of becomes mutually assured destruction at this point. Which I guess is good for Japan because it makes it kind of pointless for China. So well done for holding out. Well done for holding out, Blues. You did well in the end there by hook or by crook. Viewers, that was a big one. I hope you enjoyed that. And bye.